Okay, just some general thoughts on CMA accuracy in the process. Never let anything interfere with your common sense. If you're sitting there looking at it and you're saying, I don't know, yeah, that's your instincts or your intuition telling you that something's up and maybe these numbers are a little goofy for one reason or another. So trust your instincts. Pay a lot of attention to the sales price to listing price ratio in the marketplace, because that can have an influence not only on pricing but also saleability. For example, if houses are selling for about 90% of what they're asking for them, that's a relatively, especially by today's terms, that's a relatively soft market. If they're selling at 99% or 100% of their asking price, that's a pretty hot market. And of course, if they're over that number, then a lot of markets right now are just either right there where they're selling at asking price or a little bit above. 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that number was 105%. So the markets are cooling off a little bit from the peaks of earlier years, but it's still a very competitive market. Know what that is, because you need to know that in order to strategize properly on price. What are the days on the market? That'll tell you how hot the market is. For example, they talk a lot about housing inventory. If you have let's say in a small market, you have 100 houses a month selling. Is that a hot market or not? Well, it depends on the size of the market. But if you have 300 houses on the MLS and there's 100 selling a month, that's a 3-month inventory. That's a relatively healthy market, relatively good balance in that market. If it's 2 weeks, that means things are really tilted in favor of the seller. If there's 600 houses on the market, that's a slower market. That's a 6-month inventory. So NAR and me personally, I believe that a healthy market is somewhere between 3 and 4 months inventory. We haven't seen that for quite a while. So that's a little bit about days on the market. The other thing is, I get a lot smarter when I have different voices in my head. So if you're ever stuck on an appraisal, or you feel like I'm just not getting this, or you don't have decent comps or whatever, reach out to your manager. I made sure that I was very good friends with a couple of appraisers. And while I'm thinking about it, I want to mention to you, please call. When an appraiser calls you and has a question about a sale, do the right thing professionally and in terms of interacting with a colleague. Please call them back. It's not only in their best interest, it's in your best interest as well. Extend a hand. Sometimes they need information about a particular sale. They'll call you up and say, that thing sold for a lot more than I think it's worth. Can I ask a little bit about the circumstances of the sale? Or the reverse of that. They're looking for information to help them determine what a property is worth. Extend a hand, do the professional thing, help them out. And then, as you develop a friendship, hopefully you should invite them to lunch, in my opinion, and ask them, hey, if I'm ever trying to sort something out, would it be okay if I ask you a technical question from time to time? Great stuff. They might be appraising one of your houses that you just sold next week.